Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit your notification bell for all new videos. Today we're going to be diving in on some tools that I use to manage my anxiety and really has helped me overcome anxiety. I don't really feel as intense with anxiety anymore. I haven't had any panic attacks in years, and there are just some tools that I've honed into to use daily to keep my anxiety at minimum and then be able to go throughout my life without having the fear that anxiety is in control. So the first one is naming the emotion or the feeling. Typically anxiety starts from an emotion or feeling it within, and once you find out what you're feeling, and then once you get the understanding of what you're feeling, I always say the next question to ask is to be able to determine why you feel that way and what led it there. And these are all really just thoughts that you should have in your head when you feel yourself starting to have a panic attack. It also deters you from thinking about the heart racing, the sweats, and just things that come with anxiety, panic attack, mentally and physically. So I always like to figure out what I'm feeling. That way I can start to navigate how to release it. Once I figure out what my feeling is and why I feel that way, I go into prayer immediately and seek God. A lot of people who aren't involved with the God, I really don't know what to tell you to do in this area, but I do recommend prayer. However you pray, I feel that it's important to seek someone above you when it comes to just everything, honestly, because a lot of things that are made by the world is through humans, and I just feel like when it comes to anxiety, I've seen a lot of therapists who's always just trying to prescribe medication, and I just really wasn't into the medication when I tried the medication they were giving me. I think one of them was like Adderall. It made me feel like I was on cocaine. It just made me feel like I was high, I was up, I was amped. It really didn't tame my anxiety. It actually kind of increased it as well because my heart was racing more, because doing Adderall is like another form of cocaine, and cocaine increases your heart rate. So there was also something that I wanted to not do as well, because I did cocaine for a lot of years in my life, and that was an addiction I had that I overcame, and I felt like getting on prescriptions and doing any kind of medication in that nature was just off limits for me. So I really had to start focusing on something bigger than me, spiritual, and that was God, and that's who I pray to, and that's who I seek help once I figure out what the issue is. And I also, as I state in a lot of videos, I go to scriptures because we're not the only one who's been through anxiety. If we always reference the Bible, we'll find every issue that we've encountered in life in that book, and ways that these people overcame them, and what God has done to help them with their anxiety, just like what God has done to help me with mine. And after praying, I just feel so much peace and clarity, and then God gives me understanding on just really how to strategize and move throughout the day and not let the anxiety hone on me, and how to remain present and focus on the important tasks ahead. The reason why I say that it's important to remain present and focus on the task ahead, because anxiety is really just the fear of the unknown, and then the fear of the past, and you in between trying to figure out how to control those two. And truthfully, you can't control neither one. One has already been past tense and gone, and then the other one, we don't know. Only one that knows is God. So that's why I said going to prayer is always the best bet. And I say that because after I pray and get clarity from God and understanding, He makes me focus on what He wants me to do in that moment. And I find that when I focus on that, it takes away the anxiety, and then it also gives me an accomplishment, because I'm doing my small goals and staying present and accomplishing things that will better me in the future. And then it also gets my mind off of what the mistakes I made or things that happened in the past that I can no longer change. Breathing is such an important thing for me. I've learned breathing has helped me a lot when it comes to anxiety and anger, because some point in time, if your anxiety increases to a certain level, depending on the situation, it can also lead into releasing in anger and poor behavior. And I experienced that as well, being in situations that will give me high anxiety that'll cause me to go into anger. So when I breathe now, the breathing also helps me stay silent, and then it also helps me think. And I think it's really important because a lot of our emotions and just bad behavior and reactions to things are based off of not thinking, us just using our feelings as a leadway, when we should be more so using our brain as a leadway, because our brain is more logic, and our brain is also where God speaks to us and where God gives us reasoning and gives us understanding for us to move through life in a better way than our emotions would tell us to do, or our anxiety would tell us to do. Because we know anybody can be impulsive. I'm impulsive. I don't know if you are, but I just know for me, I'm impulsive, and anxiety was the start of that impulsiveness. So breathing for me, I do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I exhale 4, or I exhale till it's all out. But I typically breathe all the way in and then all the way out. And then while I'm breathing, I try to think about, how can I show up well in this situation? That's really how I think. Like, how can I have the right word choice, or whatever situation I'm in that's giving me anxiety? Like, say even if I'm at home and I'm just having anxiety and overwhelmed with work stuff, I kind of try to break it down. Like, what do I have control over now? Breathe. What can I really focus on that'll take my mind off of what I can't have control over? So those type of breathing techniques, and thinking while you're breathing, and just focusing on the diaphragm, it really helps. So journaling is another important tool to add into your anxiety. Jotting down your thoughts, jotting down your feelings, jotting down your day, jotting down situations that upset you, situations that uplifted you, things that you're looking forward to, things that you did not look forward to that happened to you. Sometimes even writing letters to people who are not around, or you no longer have a part of, that hindered you some kind of way, you need to release that. You can do that as well with writing things down. I've done a lot of journaling throughout my life, so I have a lot of experience in journaling. I like to write. It's kind of one of my favorite things to do. So for me, journaling has been the way that I kind of really express myself, because I really didn't do a lot of expressing with like my emotions and how I feel, but when it came to paper, it was just so easy for me to just write. And I just found that journaling is such a really important way to express yourself, and it also is like a personal expression too. So it makes you feel good, and it also gives you that time to sit in meditation with God and just hear his voice and hear him speak to you as well as you're journaling. Because sometimes you're jotting down just bad thoughts, and when you start to release those bad thoughts, you can really hear God's word. Diet change and exercise is important for anxiety. It's important for everything in life. It's important to have a healthy body. The healthy body is what's carrying the spirit, and the spirit needs to be led. And you can't lead if your body is broken down, or if you are having a poor diet, you can't walk, you got all these health issues. All that also ties into anxiety as well, because now you're stressing over things that you've done to yourself by not taking care of yourself, basically. So I just find that it's important to really hone in on a good diet and workout schedule that's for you and you only, and it helps you, and you also can see the results in your own anxiety. Don't hop on a diet and a workout plan that someone else is doing thinking it's going to help your anxiety. You have to really find out your own. And when you find out your own, and then you just take other people's tools and try to apply them to you and see what fit, then that's how you really achieve the best way to manage your own anxiety. So that's why I really wanted to share some of these tools as well, because I wanted some people to maybe pick some of the things that I've done and try it on them and see if it worked. And if not, then also I take suggestions on other ways that people own their own anxiety, because I don't know, I could probably take some tools from them and learn something good too, because I don't have all the answers. Last but not least is a list and prioritizing organization. You know, your girl loves a list. She loves to organize. She loves I do recommend still doing it though, because for me, like I said in a lot of videos, I have a breakdown of like my to-do list for the day, my to-do list for the week, my to-do list for the month, my to-do list for the 6 month, my to-do list for the year. And I just try to focus on the small things, and then every time I look up every month, I'm hitting a major goal, and I'm just ecstatic, because really focusing on the small things, you guys, and prioritizing and staying on that list, it really helps. And don't get me wrong, your girl falls off the list, okay? Some days I'm just like over it, and I just don't want to do it sometimes. And sometimes I just feel like overwhelmed, because when you have a busy schedule and then you're also trying to tie in your own self-care and then, you know, other priorities, it can become overwhelming, which bring anxiety as well. So some of those days on those lists, like say for instance, if I have a whole list and I feel myself like, okay, this is really weighing on me, I really need to go to sleep, I will go to sleep. I will forget about that list. And that's one thing I will also recommend that I didn't put in the list thing, but sometimes you just gotta go to sleep. You gotta just rest, like literally just rest. And I had to learn this myself, because I can become a person who overworks and overdo, and I can be a busybody. It's not something I'm proud of, but like I can say it's a benefit and it's a hindrance. But at the same time, I think that if I get tired enough, and even if I have that list, I go lay down, because I know that I'm not gonna put my all into the list or put my real effort into it, and it's just gonna make me have anxiety that I didn't put my all into it. So I'd rather have that I didn't get to it and I went to sleep, you know, that lazy procrastination feeling, than that anxiety feeling of I really didn't do my best, and then I gotta go back and redo it. So it kind of brings the anxiety, like, okay, now I gotta go back and do this again. So that's why I just feel like it's important to really have a list and prioritize, but also add your rest in, and always get sleep. I make sure I get between 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I really been going between the 6 and the 7, but when I think about it, I take naps. So yeah, take naps. Like I said, rest. I'll take a nap. Like if I get like too overwhelmed, I'll just lay down. Or if I get too tired, like if I've been doing like all day a list of things, and I get to like the middle of the day and I see like, okay, I got 3 more things on this list, I can just push that to tomorrow, and I will do that. And sometimes I'll end up just keep pushing stuff, and I'll find that something that I put on the list a week ago is the following week. But it doesn't matter, because like I said, it gets done. And as long as I keep it in that monthly frame task, like I'm not going outside the month, then I'm fine. And I'm really strategic in following that. Like I said, I'm really a list person, and I'm really like a planner, and I really enjoy doing it. So it'll be days where I'll sit down and just rewrite the list. I know it sounds nasty, but I'll sit there and rewrite a list over and over. I just feel like it's the best way. Like even with journaling, like sometimes I'll write something out and I'll go back and rewrite it, and just try to see just how much embedded, or like say for instance with studying the Bible, like I'll write down my thoughts about the verse and I'll rewrite it, because I really wanted to have it embedded in my head, because it's something that God is showing me and speaking to me regarding. So in order for me to apply it to my life, it has to be embedded in my head. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video for some basic ways of handling your anxiety with no medication, as I stated. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit your notification bells for all upcoming videos. And don't forget to also like the videos, and you can leave a comment as well under the video. Some don't have the comments on and some do, and the ones that do, you can always feel free to leave and just speak your opinion. Have a great day.